Today's lesson is on using budgets. If you are preparing a budget for the first time, you can consult budget recommendations prepared by financial consultants. Budget studies prepared by the federal government can show if your spending habits are similar to the spending habits of others. Keep in mind that your records of expenditures are your best guides to preparing your budget. Okay, so right away when I look at this, percent of your budget is key. And the reason is percents actually break down how much you're spending based on how much you make. All right. So percent of your budget is the amount budgeted divided by the total budget. Okay. So right away here, when we look at some of these, for clothing, if you budgeted $85.73 and your total budget is $1,881.83, that's 4.6% of your budget, right? The average family spends about 6.8% of their budget, so you are below that. Now, transportation. What percent did you use of your budget on transportation? If I add those costs, or if I take the cost and I divide it by the 1,881, so 110.69 divided by 1881.83, it gives you about 5.8%. When you get this, it'll give you 0.0588, right? So actually we'll say 5.9%. But when you multiply that by 100, you round it up to 5.9%, which means you're still below the average. So groceries, if I divide this, 30508 divided by 1881.83, you would get 0.162. So that's approximately 16.2%. Again, here you are below. Now, before you even look at the chart any further, what you want to do is basically go to Manny and Lisa Webb's budget sheet and add the total amounts up, right? So you have food, grocery, your household expenses, transportation, personal spending, and so on, right? So what I did here is I went ahead and added up everything. And when you do go add those up, now when they talk about what percent, right, did you spend on entertainment? If I go to this sheet, entertainment, the total here was $150.21. So if I take the 150.21, I divided by how much I budgeted, 150.21 divided by 1881.83, it gives me 0.0798. So that ends up being about 8%. So you went way above, right, the average on entertainment. And then your regular savings, okay? When I look at my regular savings, that right there is $100 a month. So when I go back up, right, my regular savings is $100. If I divide that by 1881.83, I get 0.005, which is basically a 0.5%, which is way below, right, that. So when you look at it, regular savings is something that they should increase their contribution on. So what is the total of the Webb's monthly household expenses? So when I go to the household expenses, right, and I add these all up, I get $171.42. Okay, now what percent of the total budget are their household expenses, right? Well, if I take the 171.42 and I divide that by my monthly budget, and How do I find my monthly budget? It's right here in your budget sheet. Your total budget is $1,881.83. So right away here, divide that by 1881.83. 171.42 divided by 1881.83. It gives you about 9%. It gives you 0.091, so about 9.1%. And I think I made a math mistake up here. 100 divided by 1881.83. Sorry, this is, excuse me, I added one too many eights. That would give you 0.053. So that means you're about 5.3%, which means you're slightly above budget. Okay. Now, number 14. The Webbs expect their take-home pay to increase to $2,050 a month. If they want to set aside the same percent of their net income for savings this year, how much should they put in place? So if they want to set aside the same percent, right, for savings, if I look, what was their savings percent here, right? If I look, where is savings here? The regular savings was $100, right? So 100 divided by 1881.83, we set up above already. That 100 divided by 1881 is about 5.3%. So now if I take the 2050, multiply it by 0.053, you would get $108.65. Okay, so go ahead, try the notes, and let me know if you have any questions.